Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Sauce. Coming off a winning night. We went 3-1 last night. Nice little Tuesday night. But full disclosure, last 3 Tuesdays have all been winning days, and I followed the last 2 up with losing Wednesday. So I'm hoping to break that trend tonight. Instead of going through all 9 games in order, I'm just going to do the ones that I think are better bets and just better overall basketball games. I'm also throwing a couple props in at the end.
Welcome to The Sauce. The Sauce. Sauce. Hey, get the sauce.
First up, Charlotte on the road in Washington. This is a 7 p.m. tip time. Total set at 236. Now this line was Washington minus 4.5, but it jumped up to 5 almost immediately. Public definitely on the Wizards, but there is some sharp action in on Charlotte early. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. According to our model, the line for this game should be Washington minus 9.19. That's a solid 4-point lean on the Wizards here. So Washington continues to crush me. I've now bet the Wizards 3 straight games and I've lost 3 straight times. So here we are at home against a bad Hornets team. Do I have the balls to bet the Wizards again? Well, not only do they get a bad team in Charlotte, but they get them on the road. The Hornets are a bad team. They're an even worse team on the road. They've lost 5 straight road games, and only 1 of those 5 were even close. The Pistons game, and they still lost by 6 to Detroit. This Hornets offense has just been so bad, and they have scorers. LaMelo Ball, we know Terry Rozier can score. Gordon Hayward, when he's healthy, can score. The problem is there's just no efficiency. Both LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier are volume shooters. The problem is they just haven't been on. I mean, when they're hot, they can be good, but when they're cold, there's just no offensive action going on. Certainly doesn't help that another one of their key players, PJ Washington, also an inefficient shooter. Look, I know the Wizards have gotten me 3 times in a row, but I'm not bailing. I'm giving them one more shot. I refuse to be bored. I am remaining aboard the Wizards wagon. I'm doing it again. Give me Washington minus 5. Let's go. Next game. Indiana on the road in Miami. This is a 7:30 p.m. start time. Total set at 223. This line opened up Miami minus 6.5. Still at 6.5 now. It bounces back and forth from 7 a little bit. Some books might still have it at 7, but I think it's settled at 6.5. We got a pros versus public look here. Public definitely on Miami. Sharp action definitely on the Pacers. Quick glance at our spreadsheet. According to our model, the line for this game should be Miami minus 7.43. So a very slight lean on the Heat. This Pacers team, just to paint a picture of what the Pacers have gone through the last 6 weeks, right? So let's rewind back to mid-December to early January. They had a 10-game stretch right before Halliburton got hurt, where they were 8-2 straight up and 8-2 against the spread. Then Halliburton gets hurt. He misses 11 games. In that stretch, the Pacers were just 1-10. Only 1 win out of those 11, and just 2-9 against the spread. Now Halliburton has returned, and since he came back, they're 2-1 against the spread. I like that. I think Halliburton is the best facilitator of an offense in the NBA. He may not be able to score on the same level as some of those elite players, but as far as just distributing the ball, I think he's as good as it gets in the league. Also, I was cashing a lot of bets on the Pacers during that 8-2 streak before he got hurt, so I would love to see them get back there so I can start winning some Pacers bets again. And on the other side, you got Miami laying 6.5 points. Do you want to know how long it's been since the Heat have won a game by more than 5? January 18th. That's 3 full weeks ago. In that span, they're just 4-4. None of their wins have been by more than 5 points. So no way I'm taking Miami here. I'm riding with Indiana, back on the Pacers bus. Give me Indiana plus 6.5 next game. Sixers on the road in Boston. This is a 7:30 p.m. start. Totals at what? 224? 224.5. Line is Celtics minus 4.5, and it's still Celtics minus 4.5 now. Check out the flip-flop on the action. So early on, it looks like the money's going to be on Boston, and it is for most of the early morning. In the last couple hours, there's a complete flip. Looks like the sharp action is now on Philly. This is definitely one we got to keep an eye on. Quick look at our spreadsheet. Models telling us that the line for this game should be Boston minus 5.8. That's a point and a half lean on the Celtics. So at first glance, when I first looked at this, I was thinking Sixers all the way, right? I mean, there's no way the Sixers are going to go into Madison Square Garden, blow a 20-point lead to their division rival Knicks, and then follow it up with another loss against another division rival. I just don't see that happening, so I'm taking the Sixers. But these are the defending Eastern Conference champions. These are the Celtics in Boston, so we definitely have to take a closer look. But if you look at Boston's recent body of work, it's just not that impressive. I mean, they're just 3-4 in their last 7. The Knicks came into Boston and beat the Celtics. The Lakers came into Boston and should have beat the Celtics if they called that Tatum-LeBron foul. If you take a step back and look at the Celtics' last 7 games, right? I mean, you got the blowout win over Brooklyn. That was dominant. And then you have a 12-point win over Detroit. Other than that, it's 4 losses and then 1 game against the Lakers that should have been a loss. Obviously, this is a temporary thing. We know the Celtics are loaded. We know come playoff time, they're going to be one of the top teams in the East, if not the top team. But right now, they're not playing that well, and they're going to be playing a pissed off Philly team coming off a blown lead loss to the Knicks. I think the Sixers handle their business. I'm taking the points. I think they win. Give me Philly plus 4.5 next game. Minnesota on the road in Utah. This is a 9 p.m. tip. Total is set at 236.5. This line was Utah minus 3.5, but it jumped right up to 5.5. 2 whole points is a pretty significant jump. Now, is this a reaction to everyone betting Utah? Because you can see the action is heavy on Utah. Or is someone on Minnesota inactive tonight? We just don't know it yet. We'll have to wait and see. All we know right now is the line is 5.5. Let's take a quick look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Utah minus 2.48. So that's a full 3-point lean on the T-Wolves here. So we love Utah at home, right? We love betting the Jazz at Utah. They've been cashing all year, right? Well, hold up, because in the last 4 games, they actually lost the last 2, and the 2 before that, they won, but actually pushed and didn't cover. Jazz have definitely not been that profitable on this homestand, just 0-2-2 against the spread. I mean, some people have that closing line value at 8.5, so that the 1 might have been a win, but it was close. Regardless, not cashing bets like they were earlier in the season. Rudy Gobert returning to his old home in Utah for the 2nd time this year. He was very good in the first trip there. 22 points, 13 rebounds on 8 of 11 shooting, I believe it was. Minnesota got the win, 118-108. T-Wolves actually turned the ball over 17 times in that game and still won by double digits. And that's been a problem for Minnesota all year. Actually, on the season, they're 28th in the NBA in turnover rate. In the last 3 weeks, they're 26th. So it doesn't even seem to be improving. And that just sums up what we've seen from this Timberwolves team all year. I mean, they turn the ball over so much and still find a way to win a lot of games. Every time I'm capping a Minnesota game and I'm going through T-Wolves box scores, I have the same thought. Yo, how good would this team be if they could just stop turning the ball over? Good news for Minnesota fans, this Utah defense doesn't force many turnovers. In fact, the Jazz in the last 3 weeks are just 22nd in first turnover rate. I like this Minnesota team, and on the fact that Utah might not be equipped to take advantage of their biggest weakness, I'm definitely taking the points here. Give me Minnesota plus 5.5, but put an asterisk next to it. I will not be placing this bet until I see final confirmed injury reports. 2 full points in the line movement in just a couple of hours. That's sketchy. I don't know what the books know. So I'm on Minnesota, but I won't be placing it until I can confirm that all their guys are in. Next up, Golden State's in Portland for a 10 p.m. start. This is a national TV game. It's on ESPN. Total for this one set at 234.5. Line was Portland minus 3.5, but look at all this late action coming in on the Dubs. Line drops from 3.5 down to 2.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. The model saying the line for this game should be Portland plus 4.64. So a 7-point lean on Golden State, but keep in mind, my model does not take into consideration injuries. My model doesn't know that Steph Curry isn't playing. To be honest, I actually don't love this game betting wise, but it's going to be a good one. Should be a lot of points scored on ESPN, so I wanted to include it in the video. Here are my thoughts on it. We know what this Portland team is, right? Maybe the most explosive offense in the NBA, if not one of. Absolutely explosive offense, no defense at all. I think Golden State's scoring on this Blazers defense with or without Steph. But not having Steph Curry on the floor, yeah, it's a huge hit to the Warriors' offense, no doubt. Huge hit to the offense. But defensively, I actually think it might give them a little bit of a boost. Think about it. No Steph means they're going to run a lot more minutes with Kevon Looney at the 5. Also, it's going to mean a lot more minutes for DiVincenzo. Looney and DiVincenzo are 2 of the Warriors' highest rated defenders analytically behind Draymond Green. I'm not saying the Warriors are better without Steph Curry. Of course not, that would be crazy. Obviously, the offense takes a big hit. But my point is, I think that offense, even without Steph, is scoring on Portland, and I think the defense gets a boost. And against this explosive Blazers offense, that defensive boost might come in handy. So I'm on the Dubs here. I'm taking the points. Give me Golden State plus 2.5. Let's get to some props.
Hey, get the props.
All right, 2 props today. Both come from Prop Beaver. First one's in the Pistons-Cavs game. Ready for this? These are Prop Beaver's notes, not mine. Jaden Ivey, under 17.5 points in rebounds. And here's why. In the last 30 days, Cleveland has allowed the fewest points per game, 3-pointers made per game, and rebounds a game to point guards. That's in the last 30 days. 6 of the last 7 point guards to play Cleveland have gone under their total. And in the last 7 games, Jaden Ivey's gone under 33 minutes in every single one. He's 8-4 to the under in the last 12 when he plays less than 33 minutes. So Jaden Ivey under 17.5 points and rebounds. Next prop. This one's in the Pacers Heat game. We got Miles Turner under 15.5 points. He dropped 27 on Cleveland, yet his line moves down. We see a huge dip in his production when we look at his home versus road splits. He's averaging over 20 points a game at home, just 15 points a game on the road. Turner has also gone under this mark in 8 of his last 11 on the road. He's also gone under this mark in 12 of his last 14 against Bam Adebayo. He's averaging just 11 points a game against Bam. His only game at Miami this year, he already went to Miami once. He scored just 5 points, and the Miami Heat are third in the NBA in points allowed to centers. So Miles Turner under 15.5 points. If anything changes with these bets, I will let you know on Twitter, so give me a follow there if you're interested. Also, if you want the top bet, parlay of the day, that kind of stuff, top bet hit again last night. That's 2 in a row. Head over to KyleKirms.com or download the Sauce Network app. NBA Wednesday, I've had 3 consecutive losing NBA Wednesdays. Wednesdays are always just rough on me, but we're turning it around tonight. Remember to bet responsibly. I'll talk to you on Twitter.